Welcome again to Life in 2046. Today we are talking about public safety. The first thing you think of in terms of safety are crimes. It's estimated that annual rate of crimes against people in this country is 6,670,000 a year. That includes murders, rapes, robberies, and aggravated assaults. Another way to look at it is that 20,157 people are murdered within the United States every year. These crimes' effect cannot be measured in terms of numbers. The reality is these murders, rapes, robberies, and assaults have a far more wide-reaching effect than just the numbers indicate. People are scarred for life by the results of these activities, and even people who aren't involved find themselves limiting their actions and looking over their shoulders due to the awareness that these things can happen. And then of course, you have crimes against property. 13,070,000 reported crimes against property, including burglary, theft, arson, and vandalism, combined to create a $23 billion annual loss to this type of crime. Though it's true the crime rates in this country have gone down and in percentage basis are at their lowest in history, but these are huge numbers and very unacceptable. We need to take a look at how we will lower the crime rate throughout the country. And that's exactly what will be happening over the next 20 years. So there are a lot of examples I could have picked from to show how the modern technologies are solving crimes now, and then we'll take that forward into what can be happening in the future. Let's look at the case of the murder of a professional bicyclist, Moriah Wilson, in Austin. The breakthrough came from a neighbor's security camera, the picture shown here, of a black Jeep Cherokee with a distinctive roof rack driving past the residence where Wilson was staying. The timing was critical. The vehicle was recorded just moments before and after the shooting occurred. Though the camera didn't capture the license plates or the driver's face, the specific make, model, and unique equipment allowed investigators to narrow their search and quickly linked the vehicle to the lady that was eventually convicted of the murder. These types of cameras are ubiquitous, as many homes have security cameras, many have doorbell cameras, a lot have both. Plus, you add into traffic cameras that are sitting on traffic corners, cameras that are security cameras for businesses, cameras in the front of ATMs. There are cameras everywhere recording what's going on. Now we're adding to that as more and more security traffic cameras are being put into most cities. And the next stage is the robo-taxis that we've spoken of before. These things are effectively rolling camera platforms taking pictures 360 degrees around them at all times. So over time, we will have infinitely more sources to see and hear what's going on around the town. The other big change, though, is the ability to process these images utilizing AI to get to where we need to be much, much faster. In our New World example, a person is walking down the street and turns to go into their house. A car drives up the street and slows down in front of the house as the person continues walking. Suddenly, a couple of shots ring out and the person drops. The car speeds on. How this plays out in 2026, the police will discover that the murder took place, will investigate, and will look around and find what cameras are available that may have recorded the scene, use that information, such was used in the previous example, to help center themselves in on the murderers and solve the crime. In 2046, it plays out a little differently. With near ubiquitous coverage of cameras, The fact that someone has suddenly fallen, and if they have microphones, they have picked up the sounds of gunshots, can be processed by artificial intelligence from the cameras, and this provides immediate information to first responders that a crime has happened. An immediate alarm will go out for first responders to respond to the crime. Police and EMS will be notified and begin rolling well before any bystanders have a chance to sound the alarm. This will result in a much faster initiation of the search for the criminal, but also a much higher probability that they will be able to save the victim. Next, since AI has believed that there could have been a crime committed, it will initiate tracking of the vehicle in question. Long before anybody has actually said that there is a crime here, AI will at least be following that vehicle so that they can identify where it's been, where it went, and where it is right now. Keeping in mind that the replacement of driver driven automobiles with autonomous automobiles will result in an increase between 48% and 80% of the time available from the police department given current staffing levels. Thus, there will be much more resource available to pursue this case. Once they've verified that there actually is a case here to be pursued, they will address through the artificial intelligence what it knows about the case, see the vehicle, identify the vehicle, and then follow the vehicle along the way to see what happened. Thus, it should be able to track them directly to the people who were responsible. What does this really mean in real terms? They solved the case. Yes, but it's much faster and much more certain that the case will be solved. That certainty is one of the issues that drives criminal activity now. If, as long as the criminals think they have a high probability of getting away with it, they will continue to do crimes. But if they know the technology that is tracking them and that there are police resources available to pursue them, that should be a serious deterrent to criminal activity.
Hit the second floor, maintain pressure. We're advancing. Watch the roof, it's unstable.
Now let's talk about fire response. Modern fire departments are exceptionally good at responding to fires and knocking them down. The new technology, the cameras that we have spoken of before, will utilize artificial intelligence to notify the fire department far faster than many of the calls that they're getting now. In the case of this house, you see the camera directly across the street. It should be able to identify that a fire has broken out very early in the fire as smoke and or flames start appearing, so that it can report the existence of the fire long before neighbors or others can go to the trouble of setting up the alarm. This gets the fire department in motion and gets them on the scene, where the faster they can get there and begin the task of putting out the fire, the more successful they will be in limiting the damage. Staying out of the politics of it, we should all be able to agree that climate change is real. We are seeing far more wildfires and other climatic issues than we have seen in the past, and it's only getting worse. But the new technology will enable us to deal with a lot of these issues a lot more effectively than we can now. Space satellites, much like current weather satellites, will determine a signature indicating that a wildfire has started and provide that information to the people on the ground. While the ground forces are mobilizing, drones will be sent up to analyze the situation, provide feedback, and help develop a plan as to how to knock the fire down as fast as possible. On July 4th, 2025, in the area west of Kerrville, Texas, 119 people were killed in one night due to pleasant streams and rivers suddenly turning into raging torrents of water. Among those 119 people were 39 children under the age of 18. This is something that happens occasionally, and is again, these flash flood events are happening much more frequently as we undergo climate change. We may not be able to stop the flash flood, but we should be able to provide adequate warning to the people that are in the path of the flood. The first step of doing this is to have more warning devices set up that are measuring river flows in various places as it's going. But we won't know in advance all the places that might in fact be hit by a flood. So how will we deal with that? The answer is simple. Basically, it's the same as the answer for wildfire. Weather satellites will gather data real time as to what is going on, amount of rainfall, where it is, etc. And the artificial intelligence will compare that to the known geography of the area, using that information to initiate warnings of flood possibilities. These warnings will be put out by all means to the people that are in the flood area to give them a chance to flee for safety before the waters actually hit. As soon as possible, drones will be dispatched to the flooded area to map and assist in organizing the support and to help in finding individuals in distress. Thanks for watching Life in 2046. And if you have any questions or comments, please email us at lifein2046@gmail.com.